All right. Hello, team. Rise and Jewels. We're so glad to have some of you on the call with us tonight. I am super excited to start implementing these calls every month. My hope in these calls is for us to grow closer as a team so that way all of us from California to Georgia to Michigan, all of us that are on this team will feel connected and feel a community and feel a support system. So that's my hope with this call. And I also want it to be where we are able to answer questions, encourage one another, share testimonies. My hope is to have a lot of us get on here and share a health testimony, a business testimony, and to share a tip, and just make it 20 to 30 minutes each month. So December team call, here we go. I'm super excited to have Shane and Michelle Maxey on the call. Shane, I want you to tell us a little bit more when you speak about your background, but he is, if you look at him, his arms are the size of watermelons. He's a very, very fit man. He loves health. He loves nutrition. He and his wife owned and operated a gym where they really incorporated nutrition. And so Michelle, you guys became ambassadors back in the spring, and they've had some great experiences. And so I'm going to have Shane take it away and talk to us about the importance of blood sugar, which, as you guys know, that's the main portion of the Slim. So I hope you guys take some notes because this is going to be really good. So you guys meet yourself, and
Hi, my name's Shane, as Emily said, and I don't know. After I retired from the military, I opened up a studio gym where I accepted clients who were looking to be healthy and lose weight, mostly the lose weight part. And the most incredible thing is the majority of our clients were ladies. They were usually between 32 and 49 years old. And they were all struggling with the same weight issues. And every time they went on a diet, it worked for a little while, and then it would undo itself. And not only would they gain the weight back, they would gain more. And their metabolisms got so out of whack over time that it was impossible for them to lose weight. So I'm a certified nutritionist, so I had some answers that they couldn't believe. And one of the answers was when I told them, well, we got to teach you how to eat, meaning you can't not eat. You have to eat to lose weight. And most of the ladies thought I was crazy, but it works. You got to eat to lose weight. You can't just stop eating because your metabolism has to have something and a way to function. So that being said, I'm going to talk a little bit about sugar and how it works, processed sugar, and how it messes with your body. So if you have processed sugar, if you let's say let's say a baked potato, and probably inherently a baked potato isn't terrible for you. The problem is we put all kinds of stuff on it. But even on the glycemic index, it's high on the glycemic index. Even if you don't put any butter or anything on it, it's still very high on the glycemic index. So if you're going to eat a baked potato, you probably should eat it at lunch. You shouldn't probably eat it at dinner time about 2 or 3 hours before you go to bed you your body breaks it down. And because it's high on the glycemic index, what it does is when you ingest a potato, all of that sugar and starch causes your insulin levels to rise in your body. Once your insulin level goes up, your body automatically goes into the fat storage mode. And fat cells are just like any other cells in your body. They get fed, and what they get fed is glucose. And the more and more glucose they get, the bigger and bigger they get, and pretty soon the bigger and bigger we get. So the baked potato, once you ingest it, it causes a spike in your blood sugar, and your blood sugar goes up, which causes your insulin to go up. Then all of that all those carbohydrates and starches that you just ingested are stored to fat. Now, even if you're working out constantly and you are eating a high glycemic index diet where your blood sugar is always high and which causes your insulin to be high, it is almost impossible to lose weight. So you have to change. I always say this, 80% of how your body looks has to do with what you put in your mouth. 20% of how your body looks is the work you put in otherwise, meaning you can eat great and not do a whole lot of exercise and look great, or you can work out and work out and work out and work out and not eat great and just be a bigger version of yourself. You can also, the other part of it is you can also mess up your metabolism so that or how do you say it? How do I want to say it? You can retard your metabolism in such a way as to lose weight. You can not eat enough. You can take away all of that stuff, all of the protein and nutrients, and your body will shrink. But all it will do is it will shrink down in size. But when you look in the mirror, all you're going to see is the same body that you started with, only it'll be a smaller version. The problem with that kind of a diet is that you can't maintain it. Sooner or later, your body's going to demand that you eat. And when it demands that you eat, you're going to overeat, and your body, you just gain all the weight back. So the proper way to lose weight is to eat. And the things that you got to eat, you just have to adjust them, I guess. So I'm going to go through some food with you just to kind of help you. So we're going to talk about the glycemic index. Now, you can go on your phone or your computer and you can type in foods high on the glycemic index, foods low on the glycemic index. And so I'm gonna list some for you. So let's start with low glycemic index foods. So the number one low glycemic index food is oats. Notice I didn't say oatmeal, I said oats. And I didn't say the word instant oats or instant oatmeal, I said oats, meaning that rolled, old-fashioned oats that you can buy in bulk in Winco or whatever the stores that you shop at. And you can make oatmeal, believe it or not, out of rolled oats. That's the way they used to do it, or we used to do it back in the day. It doesn't come in a box with sugar and flavoring and all of that stuff, because if you buy the instant oatmeal by Quaker in the box, you might as well just eat a candy bar, because it's got as much sugar. Oats, Quaker oats, instant oats, that way have as much sugar as a candy bar. So just eat a candy bar. It probably tastes better. Anyway, so you got oats. The next thing on the list is peas. Peas are great. They got fiber, potassium, and vitamin C.
Peas are like
yeah, absolutely. Carrots. Well, of course, everybody knows carrots got beta carotene in them. They're good for your eyes, but they're also good for your body. Broccoli. They just call broccoli a superfood because you can eat it whenever you want, and you can eat it 5 minutes before you go to bed. And it just doesn't matter. And you can eat it by the pound. You can eat it by the 10 pounds, and it just doesn't matter. It's got vitamins, minerals, everything that your body needs. Cabbage. I hate cabbage. Cabbage is good for you. And then the next one is on the list that I can't even stomach. It's hard for me to even say it, but it's kale. They call kale a superfood, by the way. I would call it a yucky food, by the way, but that's just me. And kale has vitamin A and vitamin C and fiber. Then right after kale is tomatoes. Tomatoes are very good for you. In fact, they're better for you if you cook them. They're the nutrition factor in tomatoes increases after they're cooked. Then cauliflower. Cauliflower's got vitamins, all the vitamins that your body needs. Also, peaches are good for you. Now, remember, I said a peach, not a canned peach, not a processed peach, not a sugar-added juice to it peach, just peach. You can buy canned peaches if they're in water with no sugar added. And then you have mushrooms, and two of the most popular is shiitake mushrooms and portobello mushrooms. They're very good for you. Applesauce is on the list of things to
Unsweetened applesauce.
Yeah, unsweetened, no sugar added. It has to just be applesauce. It should have two ingredients: water and apples, and to make the applesauce. Okay, so that's low glycemic type foods. I'm going to throw in a note here. One of my favorite foods in the whole wide world, you'll never believe it, is you mix a cup. You take a cup of applesauce and you mix it with a half a cup of oats, rolled oats. And the way I do it is I'll put 3 containers out, or 3 to 5 containers out, and I'll put a cup of applesauce in each one, and then I'll come back and I'll put a half a cup of rolled oats in each one, put the lid on it, and put them in the and mix them up. And then I'll put the lid on them, put them in the refrigerator, and the next day I have the best low glycemic index carb that you can eat. When you eat oats and applesauce, your insulin level or your blood sugar goes up very little, so your insulin goes up very little. So that energy, those carbs that you eat, your body is able to burn those carbs almost instantly.
Plus, there's a lot of fiber in that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fiber. Oats are the number one on the low glycemic index foods. So you can do a lot of things with oats that are good for you with fiber. And oats, by the way, helps stabilize your blood sugar for hours and hours on end. So if you eat oats in the morning, you should get 4 good hours of a long, slow release of carbohydrates that keeps your blood sugar level. Okay, so let's talk about high glycemic index foods. These are awesome. You're going to know every one of them. Let's start with white bread, bagels, rice, potatoes, baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, French bread. Oh, hey, has anybody out there ever been on a diet that include rice cakes? They say, oh, eat rice cakes because they're the most healthy thing for you in the world. Did you know that they rank 85 out of 100 on the glycemic index for being on the high? They're terrible for you.
Yay, we don't have to eat rice cakes anymore.
No more rice cakes. So I said baked potatoes. Oh, let's talk about Special K and Cheerios and Corn Flakes and Rice Krispies and all of those cereals. Did you know that they are on the high glycemic index food index, and they are very high on the index, like in the 85 and higher category? You shouldn't eat processed cereal. It's just not good for your body. Let's see. Everybody knows French fries are on the list.
French fries.
Yeah, that really bums me out. I would trade kale and French fries in a second. So let's talk about bread for a minute, though. Let's go back to this bread thing. So think about all the things that you eat that involves bread. Meaning, if you eat pizza, it's bread because of the crust. If you eat a sandwich for lunch, it's got bread. And it matters what kind of bread, by the way. You should You should use sprouted grain bread, something that's built from uh, live. What is it? The pancakes.
Sourdough?
Yes, sourdough that has a live organism. A live starter, like what's the bread we eat?
Dave's sprouted grain.
Dave's sprouted grain bread. It's better for you. There are wheat breads out there that are better for you. The problem is that they've started processing a lot of the wheat breads the same as they do white bread. So it's just almost as bad as white bread. But think about your diet in the whole as how much bread you eat and how many starches you eat, because a lot of people eat pizza, and pizza isn't inherently bad for you, except for it's usually got a big old thick crust on it, which is terrible for you.
But it's the best part of the pizza.
Yeah, but the best part of the pizza. And then people eat sandwiches for lunch. And even tortillas and corn tortillas and all of those things, flour tortillas make the high glycemic index. Corn tortillas make the medium. If you looked at they're a caution, beware, don't eat too many of them. In the medium, they probably in the 60s. They range in the 50 to 60% number out of 100. So they're considered in the medium range. There's a fruit on the high glycemic index. I know everybody loves a date. Dates are great. They're actually, out of everything on the glycemic index, they are the highest. They rank 100 out of 100. So if you know somebody that loves dates and think they're really healthy, they're not bad for you, except for that there's so much sugar in them. They are the number one killer of the glycemic index. So we've talked about low glycemic index foods, high glycemic index foods. Let's talk about some good proteins and some good fats, because you got to have all of those things. I'm going to show you a picture. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's a circle.
Shake your head if you can see it.
See my circle. Okay, it's really a crude drawing, but you'll notice there's a protein, a fat, and a carbohydrate area on the circle. I'm going to call it the Krebs cycle. Our body works off the Krebs cycle. You got to have a protein, you got to have a fat, and you got to have a carbohydrate to make energy for your body. You can't have a protein and a fat and expect to get energy out of your body. You can't have a fat and a carbohydrate and expect for your body to give you to produce energy so you feel good. You got to have proteins, you got to have fats, and you got to have carbohydrates. So let's talk about good proteins for a second. A good protein is chicken, but you shouldn't probably eat the skin, even though Albertson's fried chicken is probably the best thing in the world, especially the crunchy, crispy stuff. Turkey's is good, if not better than chicken. Egg whites are great protein. Extra lean ground beef. And when I talk about ground beef and ground turkey and ground chicken, you should probably, I think we buy 93% fat-free, but with 7%. But that's what when you're looking at ground beef, if you want to eat red meat, the leaner the better. So if you can find 93% fat-free ground beef, go for it. Also, ground turkey is the same way. You can buy dark meat ground turkey, which is much higher in fat than white meat ground turkey. It's cheaper to buy the dark meat ground turkey, but it's not as good for you. Also, I would tell you buffalo or bison, lean buffalo or bison is just as good, if not better, than any kind of beef. It's more expensive, but it's better for you. You can eat less of it and get
no cholesterol.
And it has no cholesterol if it's been raised right. There is that caveat because we in America tend to make things go crazy. Okay, so let's talk about good fats. Good fats are nuts. Like Brazil nuts, cashews, almonds, all of those nuts are really they're great for you. Avocados are great for you. Olives are great for you. Olive oil, all the extra virgin and virgin olive oils out there, they're good. They even have avocado oil now, so you can get all kinds of oil. You don't have to get vegetable oil, which is not the best in the world for you. Okay, so, and I'm gonna also talk. I'm gonna tell you what my personal opinion is. If you read labels, food labels, if you cannot pronounce what it is, you probably shouldn't eat it. So I'll just give you an example. So how many people do you know that drink Rockstar, Red Bull, or Monster drinks? It's become an over $1 billion industry in America. The Monster, Rockstars, Red Bull, that energy drink industry, and there are so many things in those drinks that are not good for your body. There's no way to even tell you. And most of the ingredients you can't even begin to pronounce. And I would just tell you, they are terrible for your body. Terrible for your body. Just don't do it. Okay, so there are some things that Plexus does that are really great. There's lots of things they do that's really great, but when you talk about food, they're really, really great. First thing I want to talk about is this block supplement. Block actually neutralizes the enzymes that it takes to convert sugars to fat. So the block supplement they have, so it neutralizes the carbs, neutralizes the enzymes of the carbohydrates that what's that?
So there's not a blood spike.
So there's not a blood spike,
blood sugar.
And so that carbohydrate, instead of get stored, you will act, even if you overdo it, your body will actually burn it off or slough it off. So so Block is a product. If you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to eat, and you're changing your diet and your lifestyle by changing your diet, I would add Block. Block it's all natural. It has brown seaweed and white kidney bean extract and chromium. The other thing I would tell you that you must do is you got to drink Slim. Slim does several things, but mostly it helps balance your blood sugar. So the key to losing weight is keeping your blood sugar even on an even keel throughout the day. So if you really want to lose weight, you'll eat a diet that is low on the carbohydrate or glycemic index, and you will add things to help maintain your blood level throughout the day. One of those is to start your day with Slim, because Slim has the vitamins and minerals and ingredients it takes to bring your blood level up to I'll call it the optimal operating level, and it'll help hold your blood level there because it has chromium and natural beets, and it's got I'm going to say lipoic acid, but it's probably not the right way to say it. And it has Slim has antioxidants, and all antioxidants do is fight free radicals, which cause disease in your body, like cancer. So drink Slim. It helps maintain your blood level. Take Block as they suggest you take it, so it will also help maintain your blood level, to keep the spikes from happening, so that your body will store less glucose to fat, so you can lose some weight. And then, oh, by the way, you probably should exercise. Look, here's what I know. I'm a critic, and I'm cynical, and and stuff like Plexus to me is, when I first heard about it, was crazy. I was like, there's no way this can work. It's just the next fad in the diet industry and all of that, because I've done nutrition for a long time. And it wasn't until I started doing the research that I realized that Plexus is not a fad. Their science behind their products is good science. Anytime you can make plant-based supplements to put into your body, because we in America are mineral deficient, and anytime you can take plant-based supplements with the minerals that we lack in our diet anyway, because we eat terrible food, it's got to help. So besides being cynical and a critic and and all of that, and a doubter, once I started doing the research, I realized that it works great. But you got to help it. You can't continue to eat like crap and take the supplements that Plexus has and expect a miracle to happen. You gotta use the supplements in conjunction with a better diet, in conjunction with some exercise, to make stuff happen for you in a positive way. So the reason why I say it works is because I have fibromyalgia. I've got the Persian Gulf War syndrome. The Persian Gulf War was hard on my body, and so I'm ill. I'm sick. I take medication every day. I get migraine headaches. I have all kinds of issues. And since I've started on the Slim and the Triplex, I also take the Ease and the X Factor, and I think there's one other. Anyway, I take a bunch of stuff, but what is it? The Mega X Plus. Anyway, I take a bunch of stuff. People are like, "You're nuts." All I can tell you is this: I feel better. I feel a lot better. I feel like I'm starting to feel like my old self. If I could get the pain to go away, and I'm hoping that the Ease will work over time, and I've noticed less pain since I've started taking the Ease, but I haven't been taking it that long, so I've noticed a little bit of a change. So I'm hoping that it will, over time, work great, and I just feel better.
Plus,
so
everything has been approved.
Yeah, and everything's been approved by my doctors. And I have 2 of those. So I have a specialist and an MD, and I see them all the time. And I just had my blood drawn for my blood checks. I'm really interested to see how my cholesterol and all of that stuff turns out from this last blood draw and blood check stuff. So I'll be interested. But anyway, I'll end with this. If you think you need help with your diet, get a hold of Emily, and she'll get a hold of me, and I can help you with your diet. If you're desperate to lose weight and that's what your thing is, I can show you how to do it. I can't make you do it, but I can show you how to do it so it works and it's healthy. And
awesome.
Slim does that, so it helps you do that stuff. So anyway, thanks.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you so much for that. I love all of your research, and I think that you are so much like so many people. Like, this is just a fad diet. This isn't going to help. How does this one thing help all of these, ailments? But I think just with your research, and you're right, like the science behind the products is what makes it work. So I want to end real quick, but with that, I want to just really emphasize on taking the products consistently. I remember back in January, I was talking to a friend. This is before I became an ambassador, and I was talking with a friend. I'd been on the products for 2 months, but I was inconsistent. And I was telling my friend, I like the products, but I don't know if I love them enough to go out there and buy them and promote them to people. And she said, are you taking the products consistently? And I said, no, I mean, I'll take the pink drink like 3 or 4 times a week, but no, not every day. And she said, well, the purpose of the pink drink is to balance your blood sugar levels. And you are not allowing it to do what it was created to do when you're inconsistent. And so from that day forward, I have been very consistent with my products. And so I want to encourage everybody to be consistent with their products. If you have a team, a growing team, whether it's a customer or an ambassador, you have got to set them up for excellence. They're buying these products because they want a health change. So you have to set them up for success, and you have to let them know, listen, it takes time for these products to work because they are natural. It takes 3 months for your cells to regenerate. And so you can't expect to go in and for this to be some quick fix, and then in a month, nothing has happened, so you stop taking it. So that's why it is so important to have your subscription or your convenience order, whatever you want to call it, have that set up, and have your people under you have that set up for them as well, because you don't want people to waste their money. You don't want people to get on it for a few weeks and think, oh, it's not doing anything, I'm going to stop, because it takes time to get all the junk out of your system and for your body to start balancing that blood sugar. So I just really want to encourage you guys to be consistent and to preach that to your people under you. I think that's going to help make their experience and your experience excellent. So I'm excited for next month's call. We'll talk some more about another quick health testimony and a business testimony and a tip. But for tonight, this is all that we have. Thank you so much, Shane and Michelle, for all of your time and for your research. We really appreciate you guys. And message me, call me if you guys have any questions. All right, you guys take care. Have a good night.